Hello everyone, it's Mark again from financialfreedomodyssey.com with another quick video. This article and video, I decided to have a little bit of fun with it. So as mentioned in my portfolio update video for the month of August, I am away at a company retreat next week. So I didn't have time to put together kind of a typical article that I would, so I went for something fun. So I typed into Chat GPT, said, hey, give me 10 common money mistakes that people make in their 20s, and I decided to see how I measured up. So the first one was living without a budget. And they're suggesting a 50-30-20 breakdown for needs, wants, savings. I've seen this before. I think that's a little bit unrealistic. If you can get there, that's amazing. But 20% savings in your 20s when a lot of people are in university. Let's put it this way. If you're in post-secondary education in your 20s, it's pretty unlikely that this is going to happen. If you went a trades route or straight to the workforce, something like that, a bit more realistic. In my case, I was not making very much money in my 20s, and the main reason is that I took a total of 3 post-secondary educations, university, college, and tech boot camp. I will say I budgeted, but I definitely didn't have 20% money to save. I at times was living off of credit and that sort of thing, which is definitely extremely risky. I am just noticing that these numbers all say number 1. Anyways, we will try to remember which number we are on. Number 2, racking up credit card debt. So I agree, credit cards aren't bad. If you pay them off in full each month, you can get points. If you're unable to pay them off each month, if it's like a short-term pain, then maybe if you can pay them off the next month, but that can be a slippery slope, man, I tell you. So yeah, this one I did not fall into. In terms of credit card, I did speak earlier that I did have a line of credit, so I did carry a line of credit debt. I had both a personal line of credit at one time in my 20s as well as a student line of credit as well as student loans. So sure, I used credit. I used good credit. I made sure I didn't have any crazy 20% line, lines of credits or credit cards, or I didn't go to Money Mart or any of those places. So maybe give me a 0.5 on this one. I went with. So number 3 is ignoring student loans. Um, so they're saying it's easy to put student loans on autopilot or defer them. Ignoring them just makes the balance grow. Even small extra payments towards principal can shave off years of repayment. 100% agree with this. I've chatted about OSAP a little bit before. I don't want to dive into the nitty gritty, but if there's one that you want to slow pay because you get a tax credit, I think OSAP is. Again, not, hashtag not personal finance advice, but that's just what I have done. So in this one, I'm definitely happy with how I handled my student loans. For OSAP, right off the bat, I switched to a twice a month payment. You can do changes online now. Back when I did it, you had to call in. Yeah, I'm on this custom twice a month payment. Since interest is like a line of credit calculated daily, and then added on to the principal monthly. Usually they make you pay it though. Paying half of it halfway through the month and the other half at the end of the month does make a small difference. But hey, any difference is a huge gain. So yeah, what did I do there? I switched to twice a month and I rounded up to the nearest $25 just so it looks nicer in the bank account. But that also is paying principal a slight bit faster. Number 4, building or not building an emergency fund. So they're saying a $400 car repair or sudden medical bill shouldn't send you into panic mode. Start with $500,000 in savings, work your way up to 3 to 6 months of expenses. Definitely agree on this one. Since I had the line of credits like I chatted about earlier, I focused on paying down the personal line of credit first, with the thought there being it had the highest interest rate, no tax benefit, and if I really did need it, I'm freeing up credit space that I could take back. So definitely not a cash emergency fund like you should have, but better than, say, if I paid my OSAP off and I had nothing to pull from. So give myself another 0.5 there. It's this number 5, I think. Yes, number 5 is delaying investing. Yeah, this is something I don't think you should ever do. I think you should invest as soon as possible. Power of compound interest, all of that. Even if you don't have very much money, you should, with all like the uh, low fee or free fee accounts out of so many brokers these days, even putting just a tiny amount. Like I think when I started, I did like $20 a pay or something like that, and it just gets the ball rolling, um, and builds that habit, which is huge. Number 6, lifestyle creep. Keeping up the Joneses, all that sort of thing. Um, I definitely didn't fall into this one. This one I think is a lot to do with your peers. The vast majority of my friends, I'd say I probably have 10 to 15 pretty close friends. Um, Very few of them fall into this trap. Most of them came from similar financial background to me or are just very interested in saving for the future. And maybe now in our mid 30s, there's some lifestyle creep, but they've built, or I should say, we've built that base up, right? Where you can let off the gas a little bit. So definitely did not do that in my 20s. Neglecting insurance. This is a huge one. Health insurance more for the U.S. Although, if you can get dental at work and that sort of thing is a big thing in Canada. Renters insurance, auto insurance, all that sort of stuff. Don't be underinsured. This is a huge trap. I had a friend who lost all of the contents in a house fire, and that person did not have tenant insurance, and they lost everything, or near everything, and had to basically start from scratch. So get the insurance, shop around, get the best deal, 100%, but make sure you have enough coverage. Okay, number 8, they said, is not setting financial goals. So without clear goals, it's easy to drift from paycheck to paycheck, whether it's buying a home, paying off debt, or traveling. Goals help guide your money decisions, keep you motivated. So this one never been a problem for me. Have a blog, have a YouTube channel. Even growing up, if you were to ask my parents, I kept meticulous records of everything. I would mow the lawn, I would do that chore for a neighbor, I would I umpired baseball for the kids that were the below me. Um, just try to get a buck wherever I could. So that's on the saving end, and then the financial goals at that time was save up for university. Long term, wanted to be financially independent. Although as a kid, I probably just said I wanted to be rich. But yes, I have enough money basically. So did not fall in that one. Keeping up with friends. So this one is kind of the same as lifestyle creep, but that just has the, I guess, connotation of you try to keep up with friends or family or whomever. Again, most of my friends did not do this. Or if you did kind of flaunt something, they were always like, oh, did you really need to get that? That sort of thing. So didn't fall into that trap. And then the last one is all the mindset, the procrastinator mindset, thinking, I'll worry about that later. And Chat GPT, and this one said the biggest mistake is assuming you have unlimited time to figure money out. Small habits, saving $100 a month, paying for your car, and investing early compound into massive advantages over the years. So yeah, I've kind of already touched on this one, so these repeated a little bit here. But I've always been thinking about money. I've always had a plan. Worrying about it later is not my vocabulary. And if anything, I need to worry about things in the present less. That would definitely help my ability to sleep. But yeah, no, I think those are all good pieces of advice, good common mistakes that people fall into. And I hope that, me going through kind of my thoughts on these and how, I didn't always avoid the mistake. But I think the important thing is that like I was conscious about my decision, right? When I talked about, doing the line of credit, sure it was through school and then that didn't work out, so I tried some more education, and it didn't work out, and I tried another education, and I'd said to myself, this is going to be the last one, and that ended up being true, and I'm still working in that same area, and it was, it was great. It was a great risk, but it could have went pretty poorly if it didn't work out, or if I wasn't as diligent about, ensuring I didn't have lifestyle creep and that sort of thing. And then as soon as I started making money, I aggressively got myself out of the hole, lived below my means, that sort of thing. So doing a quick little review here, I think I did pretty well. I gave myself a half point on points 1, 2, and 4. So I made, let's say, a 1.5 out of a potential 10 mistakes. I think that's pretty good. But yeah, most important thing is I didn't fall into any major traps. And in my late 20s and now in my 30s, I've set myself in a great position. Sure, if I could save more money in my early 20s, I would have, the entirety of the 20s and into my 30s. And at 60, that would be 40 years of compound interest. Whereas, late 20s, 30s, at 60, I only have 30 years of compound interest. But I did my best. I'm happy with where I'm at. And that's the most important thing. Take care. Cheers.